Hey, what's up, everybody? I just reincarnated, and we are going to do running every quest on R4, and we are going to do it all solo. And I made a warlock. I've spent my 13 racial action points, and then I spent the other that I had between Tainted Scholar and Fade Arc Illusionist. We are going to run some R4s. I spent my Reaper points. Mary has 87 Reaper points, so I spent the 36 that you can spend at level 4. And she has all the epic past lives now. She just got the third of the last new one. I haven't yet decided whether or not I'm going to put up an LFM and invite people to come along. I think R4 scares a lot of people away, so horrify people. But I think if they want to come, they can. But for now, since I just plan on getting through these as quickly as possible, I will just run through them as fast as I can. And that means that I will be editing these videos down. So my attacks are based on Sonic because I'm in the Fae and I'm using Chain Shape. I also have Dark Fire, which is a Drow racial. And my gear is just sort of craptacular. Whatever I had in the bank for level 4. At level 5, I get to put on the Feywild stuff, so I will wear every slot will have a Feywild piece in it at level 5. I'm running with Energy Criticals, Skill Mastery, Colors of the Queen, Brace, and then I have the Deep Gnome, Morning Lord, and Shatterkai pinned. Right now I'm using Shatterkai. Going to skip optionals and just try to get through these quickly so we can get through all of the level 2s and show you guys how I usually run. I just did a Favored Soul life and it was really cool. They're very strong. They're in a good spot right now. In epics, I used Ruin. It was a lot of fun. Very powerful. If you haven't played around with Ruin and Greater Ruin, they're very good. So we have a strategy for dealing with Reapers. At level 6, I will get Color Spray, but prior to level 6, I'm going to use that Dark Bolt. And there's our first Reaper. So I'm going to Kite, and then there's my Dark Bolt that did almost 30 damage to him. Not great, but, you know, it's something that I can throw at them. I don't have a means to stop them yet. If I were on my Favored Soul build, I would have sound bursts that I could stun them with, but on the Warlock, I have to Kite. So there's a Plague Reaper. Going to Kite him through the door. Oh, Famine Reaper. It looks like I'm getting about 30 damage on the Dark Blast that I'm using. So I thought that curse was from the Plague Reaper, but it looks like somebody actually put a real curse on me. Our heals are just a combination of drinking potions and spamming a wand. I also have False Life, which is great on a Warlock because False Life gives you temporary hit points, but I also gain, anytime I cast a spell on myself, feigned health, and right now I have 2 points in it. I will probably next level put a third point in it. So that gives me a bunch of extra hit points that I can just cast at will, pretty much. So I don't have trap finding, but at low level, if you take this skill for an elf, nothing hidden, it seems to pop low level traps. This is a trap, a fire trap. It only procs once though, so. Okay, we got a Plague Reaper. Just going to kite. It looks like I already killed the boss, so I'm ready to leave. But I will loot the chest. Okay, that was Den of Kobold Brothers. R4. Okay, Butcher's Path, R4. Wearing the Skullduggery cap from Saltmarsh, which gives me 3 casts of Death Ward, and I'm putting Death Ward on myself just in case. It really is different being on a Warlock as opposed to the Favored Soul, because the Favored Soul, the Sound Burst, works really well as a CC in these low levels, but on this character here, I just have to basically kite. So he did something to me that triggered my Death Ward, so it's definitely a good idea to run with it at low level. The Warlock damage is still very low, but I don't have anything in my hand yet. The only weapon I'm using is the Conjured Fey Sword if I need to hit something. But that doesn't give me any spell power. In my offhand, I have a Buckler, but it's just a Mithril Buckler. It has no bonus on it. I don't really have any good gear below level 5. What I should do is collect a bunch of Saltmarsh gear, but all the Saltmarsh gear that I collected, I turned into epic gear because it's really good level 20 gear. So I have, I think, all of the Saltmarsh epic gear, but don't have much. I saved the Skullduggery cap just because those are so good. But I don't have much of the other stuff, and I need to. Oh, that's a Fear Reaper. So you probably know, but you got to get close to the Fear Reapers, otherwise the dot will just beat you up. Either you get close to it or you get really far away from it. So I don't want the little kobold shamans to lightning bolt me. That's why I'm moving. Trying to give them a moving target because once they throw the lightning bolt, I can move out of the way. The chain shape at low level is really good, especially when they group up like that. I have not yet tried beyond experimenting with the new skin warlock. This is not a skin warlock. I may, after I level to 20, do a lesser and respec as one to get the past life, but I don't need it, so it would just be something to do. I already have 3 regular warlock past lives, so if I wanted the spell power for the skin, I would get it. But while I am almost a triple completionist, I really, to be honest with you, don't care. I just really did it because I like playing. It's not like I'm trying to do it, it just sort of happened. Let's see if I can get this door. No, so yeah, without a strength item, I can't do anything. Actually, at level 5, I have a set of gloves that are good strength. So I think I need to open this in order to trigger these, in order to qualify to finish. But let's see if I can get the amount of kills, because in order to finish this, you have to have a certain amount of kills. So let's see if these oozes will count, because if I pop that chest, it's going to be a lot of fighting, and I might pop a Reaper or 2 or 3. So we'll just focus on these oozes. The damage is just so low. 5 points for my arcane, 2 points, 3 points. They nerfed warlocks so much. Especially if you remember when they were first introduced, how strong they were. Although they did recently just boost them a little bit. The packed dice used to be D4, and they made that D6, and then the Eldritch Blast, the arcane portion of it, used to be a D6, and I believe they made that into a D8. So they gave us a little bit more damage, but... So I still need 2 monsters. Yeah, I had a feeling I was going to be short. Let's see if I can find them without popping that trap. You know what I'm going to do? So here's an ooze. This is one. And I'm going to use Illyri to open this door. Because all companions are pretty strong, but I have the druid past life that gives her +6 to all her ability scores, so I bet she can open it. Yes. This is my gear. Feather falling on blindness immunity goggles, the skullduggery cap, the glib tongue necklace, battle-worn medallion with master's gift in it, the Fjarlin mirror cloak, +3 con belt, the salt pearl ring for the boost to sonic damage, boots of faith, ring of the buccaneer from Crystal Cove with moderate fort, and then death block bracers, and then I'm wearing the Reveler's Regalia, which is just basically a robe. Okay, so Frago has got that trap. I'm gonna leave him there because there is another trap later that I need him to get. So let's check the damage on the Dark Blast and see. Yeah, it doesn't hit that much, but once I get the Queen Scepter, my damage will go up. 40 is okay. Oh, you know what? Do I have it meta magicked? I do. I cannot meta magic Fairy Fire, but I have it just if I want to throw it at something. So now I get 50 hit points, and that's pretty good. This here can be dangerous. I'm just sort of running around. If this were Hardcore League, I probably wouldn't be so cavalier about running through here, but usually if you don't take too much time, you can get through it really easily. It's when you stop and wait for the lightning that you tend to get hit by it. But, you know, I could say that to you and then you could try it and you could get hit by it and killed. That happened to me in Hardcore League Season 1. On one of my first characters that I was playing, I didn't realize that the lightning hit so hard on Elite. And, you know, we had nothing. I had no gear on basically at all. No ship buffs. Like, at least on this character, I have ship buffs. So my lightning resist is 11. Yeah, it's 11. 21 fire resist, 21 frost, and then the rest of them are 11. My PRR is 48. My magic our resistance is 24. My armor class is 53, and then my saves are all above 20. My charisma is 35, and my con is 27. I've got 25 spell resist, and my fortification is 95%. It's pretty good. Not super fabulous, but for level 4, all those stats are pretty solid. They will go up considerably. I will get way more powerful once I get into a full Feywild set. The Feywild set is extremely powerful. But we can quest until we get close to capping. At level 4, I'll do all of the level 2s unless I need to level because I'm not getting XP anymore, but we'll see how that goes. So this is almost done. There's one trap. You guys probably all know this quest. My striding item is a quiver of alacrity. So even though in those boots there's 20 striding, I have a quiver. That gives me 30. So we're gonna have Frago do this trap. This trap used to be an insta-kill. They weakened all of the traps in the harbor after Hardcore League Season 1. A lot of the traps in the harbor used to be insta-kills, but now they're not. So we won't get Reaper XP for this because there's only 9 monsters. However, if we spawn a Reaper, that will qualify us to get Reaper XP. So you never know. Yo, so we got one. So we have a Fear Reaper. So we will get Reaper XP for this quest. One of the good things about Chain Shape, if you don't get dizzy or get vertigo, you can just, do the old school PvP maneuver, the circle boxing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term, but it used to be a strategy when you would PvP with somebody to circle box them, which would be like if you were fighting the person and the person is this mound, you basically like kite them in a circle around a little box. They become like the box that you're making a circle around. And what that helped you do was to, like interrupt their attack or offset their concentration, because, they probably were trying to do an attack on you. But some attacks are directional depending on the game that you're playing. So you can see we got 200 Reaper XP for that. Part of Mary's backstory involves the Feywild anyway, so for me, the butterfly wings are what I wear all the time. But, I have Reaper wings. So I just got knocked down. You want to shield block anytime you're knocked down. That will reduce your damage that you take. It will activate. Your shield has like a blocking DC number on it, and that will activate. So you'll get more damage reduction if you actively block. And you can block when you're prone. So I highly recommend that you do if you're knocked down. Later, we'll have knockdown immunity, which I always recommend to everyone to get, and there's a few different ways to get it. It's a very important part of a character's defensive strategy later in the game, because a lot of mobs and effects will knock you down. Not everything can be mitigated though, like even if you have knockdown immunity, you can still be knocked down by a cyclonic blast. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be happening, but it does happen because it happened to me. That's how I died. The last hardcore league, my first warlock died to a cyclonic blast. And, not only did I have, this was in epics, actually I was in legendary Sharn. Not only did I have the knockdown immunity from Enlightened Spirit because I was on a warlock, but I also had knockdown immunity from Unyielding Sentinel because I had a shield equipped. So I had 2, and I still got knocked down by Cyclonic Blast. And then, this was at the end fight, and that dinosaur, I forget the name of it, came out and just, I kept failing my balance checks or whatever to stand back up. Now, I didn't look at the combat log. I saw the cyclonic blast. It's possible, and I'm not exactly sure, it's possible that I also got greater commanded, but I don't think that there's a divine caster in that room. I think it was just the sorcerer, the Warforged sorcerer was spamming, and it was the champion, so it was spamming cyclonic blasts that had was hitting like a truck. So very unexpected, because the rest of the quest was a cakewalk, but then I hit that one champion and that ruined everything. And I, as an enlightened spirit in Unyielding Sentinel, should have been immune to the knockdown, but I wasn't. So be aware, it doesn't protect you from cyclonic blast. Garrison's Missing Pack R4. Plague Reaper. Yeah, I can't wait. I'll get Dark Delirium as well at level 6. And that will make anything that I cast it on has a no save. Pause. They basically stop in their tracks. So that's a really good way to slow down a Reaper while you're burning it down. Because even if they stop for 1 second, that's enough sometimes to, if you need to heal, or you can get another hit in and maybe knock it out. Okay, Famine Reaper, I have Death Block on, Death Ward. Just kite all these zombies. That was a color to the Queen proc that just hit them. Going to completely ignore that trap. Oh, I didn't know there's a chest there. Oh, there's a Carnage Reaper. So I'm not yet convinced that it's worth me stopping my blasting just to cast that Dark Bolt. It seems like the DPS is about the same if I just keep doing my Eldritch Blast. As opposed to, like let's say I just do the bolt, okay, 12 damage. And if I just do the blast, that's about 12 damage. So, but the time it takes for me to actually stop blasting and click the bolt, it doesn't seem like it's worth it yet at this level. Hopefully the bolt damage goes up. I mean, I have a lot of racial points and the drow tree isn't necessarily that good. It's not bad, but there are races that have way better racial trees, like Deep Gnome, Dragonborn, Tiefling. All the new the cat, the Tabaxi, all the new ones have phenomenal racials. It's just, Mary, for me, roleplay wise, is a drow, so I always make her a drow. Unless I'm doing racials. The last race that I did was I did 3 dwarf lives. So not. But when she's just made as she's supposed to be, she's a drow. So I keep hoping that they give us a drow iconic. And then maybe as a result of that, they update the drow racials and make it a little bit more in line with the Deep Gnome. Or maybe if they gave us Durgar, which are deep, the Underdark dwarves, they could update all of the Underdark races to have, like sort of similar stats. The Deep Gnome is a great example of a really good racial tree for a caster because they get so many useful things. Regular gnomes have pretty decent racials. The other thing I would like to see them update as well is the system of the dragon marks that they have and the way that they implement it. I don't like that they make you buy so much of it with points, because in the Eberron rulebooks, a lot of them are just passive abilities. Something that would be really cool for them to add to halflings, for example, would be in their racial tree to summon a dinosaur, not only a dinosaur mount, but like a teal to fight alongside you in quests, kind of like an artificer dog or something. Because in the Eberron rules, halflings are where they live. They live with and raise and use dinosaurs. So if you see dinosaurs in Eberron, usually it's something to do with halflings. So this quest here, I cannot kill the prophets. However, in the beginning, in order to make it easier for myself, I try to kill everything in these rooms, although I didn't expect to see a Plague Reaper, but okay, I got a lucky proc with a sunburst on my Colors of the Queen, so that was good. And then this room here has a bunch of kobolds in it that we're going to get rid of, just so they don't chase me. I don't want them to flag a red alert. That would snare me. So I'm going to try to kill as many monsters as I can. Oh, I just realized I forgot to put Death Ward on. But that's okay. Okay, there's Death Ward. I'm also going to give myself jump, so I can jump over these little guys. I have invisibility on my bar. I'm also going to switch to single target. That way I don't accidentally kill any prophets. Now you can do this with potions, invisibility scrolls, invisibility wand. And the other thing too that I always do is I jump, because a lot of monsters have tremor sense. They can hear you, but if you're jumping, there's no noise because you're not touching anything. So I always try to jump a lot when I'm invisible. That way I'm not making a footfall. I'm just sort of flying through the air. And I think it makes it a little bit easier for them to lose track of me. I mean, that's what I think. I have no, proof that my flying through the air is preventing them from seeing me or hearing me. I don't think invisibility really works. Oh, there's 2 Reapers there. So we're going to climb up this ladder. And then got to kill the Fear Reaper first, before it kills us, because that dot will kill us. And then there is, I want to say that the Carnage Reaper is invisible and hitting me, because well, maybe that was the fear dot. I lost track of the Carnage Reaper. I don't know where it went. So what I'm doing to heal is drink a potion, use a wand. Drink a potion, use a wand. And you can do this alternating heal. The zigzag healing, or lightning bolt healing, whatever you want to call it. Sailboat healing, because you're changing tack. Basically, you're altering how you're healing yourself. Okay, make myself invisible. Forgot. Oh, there's the Carnage Reaper. So he should follow me. Yes, he's following me, but that's okay, because all I need to do is pull this lever, Make myself invisible again. Run around and pick that up, and then we're done, and then we can just start killing everything. So switch to the chain shape. And now I can just start attacking everything with chain and focus on the Carnage Reaper. And hopefully I can get out of here. Now you could right now, let's say you were on Hardcore League and you did this. You could punch your Sharn Pass. It can't be interrupted. All you would have to do is just jump up on, on these boxes here and then punch your Sharn Pass. And by the time you got it off, you'd be gone. But, I'm already working through them and they're all dead, so no worries. You can do this method on hardcore. It works fine. You just need to have some means to cast invisibility on yourself that is somewhat reliable. So potions, wand, or scrolls, or if you are an arcane caster, just take invisibility. It's very useful to have invisibility. It's one of my favorite spells. As a point of interest, when this game first launched, invisibility used to make you completely invisible. You were undetectable. And so people used to just invis at the front of the quest and run through to the end. And so, I think that was in one of the first patches that Turbine did. They changed invisibility and really nerfed it. And then it just got nerfed many more times to where it didn't work at all. I think SSG made it so now it works a little bit better, because when they added the assassin to rogues, they needed to basically make it so that you could be a stealth-based assassin, because it wasn't working before that, but now you can. So now it works a little bit, and it has to do with spot and listen and hide and move silent. And so that's why I was saying, if I jump, I think that I trick their listen so they don't hear me, and being invisible, they can't spot me. So that's why I do it. But whether or not it actually works, or who knows. I see some red aura popping up around my feet, so that makes me think that they're hearing me even while I'm flying through the air, which is kind of BS, but that's what it is. Wow, I haven't seen this room with no rare. There's no rare in here. 50 points. Pretty good. So I did 25 points with my Dark Bolt on that sentry. Yeah, it's just the damage on it's too low right now for me to even bother. Maybe later. So I could pull out Froggo and get that trap, but I really don't care. I'm just gonna run and finish this. It would be extra XP. However, we did skip a bunch. We took the shortcut, so there's, I think, 2 other traps, so I don't even know if we qualify for a trap bonus. It's more effective for me to just finish this. So he hits really hard. So if you fight him on Hardcore League especially, you want to stay well out of his melee range, because he hits very hard. Especially when he does that jump thing, when he jumps up and the club goes over his head. That's like his special move. And it usually always critically hits, and he can one-shot you if you have, low hit points. So we're just trying to make our way through all these 2s on R4. and not take too much time. We want to get through them. This dog can trip you, so you have to be aware of that. If you're on Hardcore League and you're on a squishy character, don't let any of the dogs get too close to you. In melee range, they will trip you and knock you down, and if there's more mobs around you, then you can get killed. Especially in Reaper, if you get tripped by one of those dogs in a Plague Reaper, floats up to you, that would be game over. That would be Hardcore League, you're starting over again. Did I get that? I did. So this dude here, I have no means to lock this guy down, so I may be releasing 4 dogs, but if I were on my other character, I would CC him. I wasn't able to do it. Oh, I did it. Yeah, because if he gets to that lever, he will open it, and then 4 dogs rush out, and one of them trips you, then the other 3 can attack you while you're prone, and that can kill you pretty easily. So you can see there they are right there. I don't think I can hurt them with any spells that I have, but I'm going to ignore them. We will get enough mobs to qualify this quest as Reaper. By the end, we don't need to kill those. So I'm going to hold off on breaking those. And I'm just going to lure these guys out. And now I'm going to activate one of these signal crystals on the wall over here and the rune. And then fight the secret boss in the back room here. And that should give me everything I need to get my Reaper bonus. I think I may have already had it, but not going to focus on healing myself up because we're done. $200 Reaper XP. You know, is the lightest on my inventory. Like usually I'll take a ring because it doesn't weigh anything. I don't want to be encumbered. Since I'm just doing 15 quests in a row without selling. Oh, we got a good proc of Colors from the Queen on him. That hit him for like 300. The Famine Reaper is really trying to kill me. So we will. There are traps in here. You know what? So if you're doing this, I'll show you just what I do because I won't do the traps with Froggo just in case you guys don't have a Froggo. I told you that they nerfed all of these traps in Hardcore League after Hardcore League 1. And it's true. So remember, I have like 20 frost resist. You can see that it's hitting me for about 14. If I didn't have the 20, it would hit me for about 30. So not a one-hit kill, but if you're on Hardcore League and you don't have a lot of hit points, it's important to be aware of that trap. I actually don't like this quest because sometimes those gems just don't spawn. So this quest will go on way longer than it needs to. Did we get one? No. Did we get one? No. See, that's why I don't like this quest. It's like I just broke 2 barrels and I didn't get one. It should just be one in every barrel. I shouldn't have to look. There's another one that didn't have one. It's like, you know, what the... Finally, I had to break 4 to get 1. There's another one that didn't have 1. It's just an anxiety-producing quest. You think that you found what you're looking for, and then it turns out to be nothing. There's enough of that in real life. We don't need that in a video game. So I can't get in that way. So for the traps, there's the box. But what I do for this trap is I just jump and, you know, through it. As long as you don't stop, you'll be okay. A lot of the traps in DDO kill you when you stop or when you back up. Like, the reaction is you'll see a trap and then you'll pull back and you'll like run backwards and you'll run into the trap and kill yourself. A lot of times it's better to just run through them. You can do that, especially if you have temporary hit points. So if you're on a bear or a barbarian with temporary hit points or a warlock, you know, you're usually reasonably safe. But it also depends on the trap and the quest. Some traps are just insta kills, so you can't run through them. You cannot. So you have to sort of know which you can and which you cannot. Famine Reaper. I forgot to put Death Ward on myself again. Oh, of course. We got a barrel that had no gem in it. What's new? There's only 5 left. Why give us a gem when we break a barrel with only 5 left? And we've almost been to every room. That's why I hate this quest. Nice. That was a nice sunbolt or sunburst, whatever. Alright, there's a ruby. Give me that ruby. Give me the lost soul. Did we get one? No, of course not. Why? There's one. Yay. Oh, there's the barrel. I just don't understand. 2 left. 1 left. It's some kind of Squid Game torture. Because I feel like I've cleared the entire thing out. Alright, there it is. So I did the first 2 of these. This is the 3rd one. I did the first 2 without you guys because you cannot do them on Reaper. You just have to do them on Elite. So I am going to remember this time to cast Death Ward, just in case we find a Famine Reaper who wants to make our day. The dog is the most dangerous thing in this room, so we go for that first. And then we just circle box all the rest of the trash. Then you pick a door, left or right. There's a shaman in the right, so maybe pick the left. I picked the right and I got the shaman, but he's dead. The shamans are dangerous. right? So we want to get rid of them. Level 2, though, we don't get champions, so it's not like we have to worry about a champ caster. This here, I skip everything in this area. There's no reason. I know some people will go down there for the chest. Other people will go down there for the collectible. You know what? I just want to get out. I just want to be done. Like, I know that there's stuff down there, but I just want to progress here. So I'm not necessarily farming collectibles right now. I will pick them up if I happen to run by one, but like, you know, this one, I'll grab it since I'm here, but I'm not going to go make the quest longer just to grab a collectible. Really annoying that he interrupted me trying to open that door. Okay, the shaman, they are the most dangerous except for the reapers. And here is the famine reaper. So what we do, the strategy is to target them and then let them be sort of the center of the wheel that we just revolve around, and then all of the beautiful energy beams from our chain shape just arc out. So it's kind of like we're trying to make Reaper artwork, but the goal of that artwork is for us to stay alive. I'm ignoring all of this. Stay along the edge and you won't trigger the trap, and just you can grab it and go. Across the way there is another trap. So we could have got extra XP if we did it, but I just want to get out of these low level quests. Even if you have neutralized poison potions, it's still like, but if you are an apostate undead, you can step in it. If you are a wizard, like a lich or a vampire, you can step in it. And then if you are a warforged, they are immune to this poison. But everybody else will take damage from it. Okay, so there's the false life. We're just going to jump it and go. But you don't want to accidentally get hit by that trap because it's really hard. So here, the way I do this, if you have jump, if not, and you have a good jump, just bypass the bridge, ignore the mobs, just kill that first one, and you can jump over here and then open the door and proceed. So you don't need to think about any of that. There's a bunch of mobs that are going to pop behind you, but you don't need to think about any of them. You could kill this sentry if you want. He's going to call more help, but you can ignore him and just drop into the water. You have to be careful on Hardcore League if you don't have water breathing, that you don't drown. But, you know, it's not a long swim. And this is the end. We're already at the end. The fight, if you're alone, can be a little bit challenging because there are 3 scorpions, I believe, that pop along with this troglodyte. And so we are circle boxing and allowing the chain shape to kill. Even we don't care that we got stenched. We don't care. We're just going to switch targets and just continue to move. And it's done. Nice and easy. Easy peasy. This quest can be a pain just because it's long and there's lots of different parts and there's lots of things you have to be aware of. Like if you don't get all the, there's 3 levers and 3 valves that you have to pull on each side. Otherwise you spring these traps, and if you do it in a pug, sometimes Sometimes the pugs will not pay attention and they will pop the trap. And, you know, if you're standing in the trap on Hardcore League, that's a bad situation. What do we know about dogs? We know dogs will knock you down. So if you're on Hardcore League, you don't want to be the first person to run at one, and you want to basically do what I just did and try to stay out of their melee range. Especially if you're on a race that has low hit points and, you know, gets affected by that troglodyte stench, that will slow you down. It puts like a slow on you. So you get slowed and then you get tripped. It's just there's a lot of bad things that can happen if you're not careful. Especially with the shamans flinging lightning bolts at your head. So where are these levers? I got one lever. This is the second lever. Okay, dogs and trogs. Bad scene if you're on the Hardcore League. Don't get stuck in that mess. Really, that's what life is all about, right? Trying to keep yourself out of as many messes as you can. And a good way to go about that is if you see dogs and trogs to run. All right, so the trap is now disabled. So that means we can activate these without worrying about springing the trap on ourselves. So we've got a dog chasing us. He could trip us, which would be a bad thing to happen around that caster. We've got a bunch of zombies. We don't need to worry about the zombies, though, because they're pretty low threat. Sometimes a chest will spawn, but we didn't get it, it looks like. And so we just want to get out. So I'm going to boogie back to the other side, and now we need to get the 3 valves. So there's one gem lit. We gotta light the other one. Sometimes the valve is right here. There's the first valve. There's something with Eldritch Blast that if you cast it right next to something, it doesn't really work. You have to back up in order for it to know that you're trying to break those barrels. You can't cast it right next to the barrels. I have no idea why that is. Something in the code, I would imagine. So the shaman, what I'm doing, the strategy, it's sort of like circle boxing, but basically I'm just like giving him a half moon. I'm not stopping. I'm just arcing 180 degrees. You know, like a lot of the way that I play is based on that wheel, the circle box wheel. And, you know, I pick a mob as the single point in the middle of that, and then I circle box around it. And, you know, I don't even know if they still use that lingo in video game land. It's something that I learned when I first started playing MMOs a long time ago. They might call it something different now. For all I know, the kids might call it pwn. Actually, I think pwn is now old school. I don't know what they say now. I'm going to have to watch Mr. Beast's gaming channel and see what he says. So I did not circle box that guy. I just jumped out of the way. But it works. It definitely works. It's a good... I've only got one lever. Where are these levers? See what I mean? Watch. Right next to it. Does it break? Nope. I move away, then it breaks. Why? Who are these people? Who coded this to do that? There's a valve. All right, one valve left. Where is it? All right, that's the end. Here is the valve right here. Great. Okay, traps disabled. Let's kill the zombies and all the barrels. Yes, we're going to kill the barrels. All right, all the barrels are dead. Now we can flip this. This is gonna pop the troglodyte. Here he is. Actually, it looked like the troglodyte popped before I even touched it, so it just might trigger based on you moving over towards the lever. So we've got 2 dogs and a Fear Reaper. That is the combination for a very, very bad day. Because I've got the dot, I could be tripped. That dot is just tearing me up. So, you know, if you were on like a low hit point tune, that probably would kill you. Let's get ourselves healed. More false life. And we are ready to get out of here. And now I'm not going to try to loot this chest at the end, to be honest. I'm just going to do it and get out. Because there's 4 kobold shaman down this hallway. And it's a fight that I don't need to do. So what I will do is switch to a ranged weapon. And I'm not trying to range kill him. Basically, I just wanted to get his attention. So we can end the quest. Skip the chest, skip the 2 shamans that are on each side. Just skip that whole thing. It's not worth it. Yeah, I did not do Total Chaos, Misery's Peak, and I have a solo to do as well. But I've done all the rest. So we're going to take level 5. And I do, on my Fey Warlock builds, Bluff, because it's always good to have an allure skill. Concentration, Jump, Spellcraft, UMD, and Perform. And then I will add Balance and Heal as we level up later. Level 5 I get to put on Fey gear, and I will do level 3s next. So that is what the next video will be.